I just want to say, bless this weekly release schedule. It's perfect, and I wouldn't want it any other way. Why do I say this? Because I bawled my eyes out. Never have I ever cried even after a movie or an episode was done. And if this show was dropped all at once, I wouldn't. Because we feel as an audience like we have spent so much time with these characters, it's so heartbreaking to see it all end the way it did. Hi fellow Disney Plus watchers, this is Thoughts After Disney Plus Watch, where we review everything new Disney Plus coming out, and I'm glad you're watching. By the way, if you're interested in my spoiler-free commentary on the new movie Raya and the Last Dragon, there's something popping up into your screen, or it's in the description to click on. And before we move on, that I'm currently the only review channel on YouTube that is specifically Disney Plus. You'll always know what to expect. Click that button and that bell if you want to follow along. Thank you so much. So I want to get into spoilers immediately. Normally I would start with some broad impressions, but I don't really want to this time because there's so much I want to get into right now. So you have been warned, here come the spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. Oh man, what a way to throw us in with that big fight scene between Wanda and Agnes, Vision and WandaVision coming in. Now, for the very first time in the show, we truly feel we have been thrown into Act 3 of a Marvel movie. One thing I did immediately notice is that the visuals are a few years behind. I believe so. I mean, we're talking about a TV show here. It's still way ahead of its time along with The Mandalorian in terms of visual effects on television, but it was a bit noticeable. Some stuff that wouldn't really feel quite done if we had seen it on the big screen, Another thing that really made it feel like a Marvel movie was the humor. Quips like Agnes pointing out that Wanda's husband and ex-husband are fighting, Jimmy Woo bluffing about the guy he calls within an hour, Tommy stealing sunglasses and the hat from the military, Ralph reacting to his last name. Boner. Now, not that this is very clever or anything, but it was Evan Peters' delivery that made it work. The funny was well balanced with the serious, in my opinion. Okay, we know we were promised a big MCU finale by the show creators, so there's nothing that surprising there. Let's talk about the really meaningful, great moments, because there are so much of them, we can't even begin to touch on them all. I want to talk about this moment. So Agatha cuts the strings of all the townspeople, so Wanda really gets seduced into giving her powers away to her. I really thought that plotline was interesting and well set up by the previous one. Using Wanda's sense of guilt against her and trying to seduce her to give her power away, and by that part of who she is. I thought it was heavy stuff. The way Elizabeth Olsen portrays her conflict within that scene, I think, is really striking. You can really tell she wants to free these people, but also wanting to hold on to who she loves. And that struggle took such a brutal turn when she makes them suffer under pressure. You know what scene I'm talking about. I think this was one of the biggest moments in the episode, really, purely because this is, at least I think, the turning point of her realizing I have to leave everything behind because this has to stop. Okay, so the first hint of the real tragedy of this episode was already given to us after the first 15 minutes. Wanda opening the hex and Vision and the kids falling apart. This was once again brutal, and it was interesting to see her going back to her choice of saving them and keeping Westview intact for the time being. Save Westview or save your family. This was of course the inevitable ending. And can we talk about the Ship of Theseus scene? The conversation between Vision and WandaVision in the library was one of the most interesting concepts in this chapter. Because WandaVision is of course made out of the fabric of the real Vision, and the new Mind Stone Vision, let's call him that because Wanda confirmed him to be, possesses the connection with her. Now, the Ship of Theseus metaphor was absolute perfection, and it makes you think about who of the two is more Vision. Your first answer might be WandaVision, but I think we can't say that because the fake Vision, Mind Stone Vision, is who Wanda sees as Vision, even though he's made out of nothing that once resembled him. That's some thought-provoking stuff, I loved it. To be honest, I was a bit confused for a moment when Vision brings back the memories of Wanda to WandaVision, because he doesn't possess those memories. I immediately thought, well, that must mean he got them somehow, but no, it doesn't really make sense. I think the idea behind it is that fake Vision, Mind Stone Vision, now has the connection with Wanda, and he was therefore the gateway to removing the security lock on WandaVision, something like that. It was a bit jarring to me. And Hayward was a bad guy after all, because really the only option he saw was to kill Wanda, even though, and correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but even though I think we now know that Hayward made sure that WandaVision couldn't reach the memories of Wanda. Because I think if he had those, he would have comforted her. He would have been back from the dead, basically, and the choice of leaving Westview behind would have been far easier to make for Wanda. He's there with his memories. Oh, and the runes on the hex. What an amazing comeback from Wanda. Once again, a well-played payoff on the writer's part. Thanks for the lesson. Heroes outsmarting villains is a great vessel for being really hyped about what's going on. Before I get to the scenes that made me cry and cry some more, let's first point out that I really didn't believe a lot of fans of WandaVision who said after the 7th episode, oh, the engineer that Monica called, yeah, she's still going to be something. We might learn a big thing, maybe there was another engineer. They were talking about someone else. No, it doesn't matter. And although there wasn't, this engineer is apparently a Skrull, now recruiting Monica for a mission. Going back to Captain Marvel. But I feel so stupid for thinking all those fans were actually being very stupid. Stupid me. Moving on. The second after credit scene is so huge, although I'm not totally sure what this is about and how that worked. So Tommy and Billy are now trapped in another reality where they are suddenly in danger. The only reason I am putting these pieces together is because I'm aware of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. And that's totally knowledge beyond this show, so I think I would have been totally confused and thrown off if I couldn't take that as a hint. But I believe that's how Marvel works. Okay, I think I never cried as much in the TV show as I did during the scene where Wanda and Vision are now home, putting their children to bed, giving them a good night kiss, saying they're proud of them, and where we look outside the window, we see the border of the hex more frightening than it's ever been, coming closer and closer to the house. And of course, the scene with the lights, Vision wanting to look Wanda in the eye and ask her, "What am I really?" All this stuff, it was so heartbreaking because I couldn't help but think about the final scene of episode 5 where both of them face off against each other. Vision screaming, "I don't know who I am," and Wanda trying to protect her husband from the truth. But now, finally, she has the heart to admit that he's just a piece of her and that he cannot live on. The sweet part is, of course, that in a way he is. But I think we can all feel, and with we, I mean us, WandaVision watchers who have been watching this thing every single week and waited every single week for the new one. I think I have said enough about all this because I think we can all feel how much these tragic final scenes mean to us. Let's have a moment of silence. Now that is a lazy way of giving commentary to an episode. No, we have said enough already. Just shut up and realize how good it is. I'm thinking about wrapping this up. What a ride. What a journey. We can look forward to Secret Invasion, Captain Marvel 2 and Doctor Strange 2 because it hinted at all that stuff while still giving a satisfying ending in under 50 minutes. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like if you love this episode 2 of WandaVision. We're doing Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, and all other Marvel stuff this year. And of course, all sorts of Disney Plus originals, not only Marvel, of course. For now, have a wonderful day and see ya.